I want you to do something right now. Look down at your ankles. Do they look the same as they did this morning? Or do you notice a puffiness, a tightness, maybe the outline of your sock still pressed into your skin even though you took your socks off hours ago? Now press one finger gently into the top of your foot, just below the ankle. Press down for 5 seconds and release. Does the dent stay? Does the skin slowly spring back? Or does it just sit there? If that dent stays, that is called pitting edema. And it is your body sending you a signal that millions of seniors over 60 are receiving every single day and dismissing as normal aging. It is not normal, and in the next 8 minutes, we are going to cover exactly why that swelling is happening and the 8 specific foods that can begin draining that fluid naturally, starting today. Stay through all 8, because number 5 has clinical research behind it that reduced fluid retention by more than 30% in seniors over 60. And number 8 is the most powerful food on this entire list, and almost nobody is eating it. Welcome to Thrive at Any Age, where we give adults over 60 the honest, research-backed health guidance that most doctors simply do not have time to explain in a 15-minute appointment. Quick note, this video is for educational purposes only. If your swelling is severe, sudden, or affecting one leg only, please see your doctor before making any dietary changes. For the millions of seniors dealing with daily fluid buildup in both ankles and legs, what you are about to learn can begin to make a real difference this week. Before we get to the 8 foods, you need to understand one thing that changes everything. Your blood vessels are essentially a pressurized plumbing system. Normally, the fluid that carries oxygen and nutrients to your cells gets pumped out efficiently and recycled back into circulation. But after 60, 3 specific things begin working against you. First, your heart's pumping efficiency naturally declines with age, not because something is wrong, simply because every pump loses a little pressure over decades of constant use. Second, your kidneys filter blood more slowly. That means excess sodium and fluid stay in your system longer than they should, and gravity pulls that excess fluid down into your lower legs and ankles. Third, and this is the one most people have never been told, your potassium levels drop. And when potassium drops, sodium wins. And when sodium wins, your body holds onto water like a sponge. A 2019 study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society followed nearly 2,800 adults over 60 for 6 years. Those with the lowest dietary potassium intake were 38% more likely to develop chronic daily swelling compared to those who maintained adequate potassium through food, not supplements, food. 38% from food alone. And here is the part that matters most. Most adults over 60 in the US and UK are consuming less than half their recommended daily potassium, not because they are being careless, but because nobody told them which foods to eat. The 8 foods you are about to hear are your answer to that. Before we get into the list, go to the comments right now and type swelling if your ankles or legs puff up during the day. Type fine if your legs feel normal. You might be surprised how many people watching this are dealing with the exact same thing. Comment now, then stay with us. The 8 foods. Food 1, cooked white beans. White beans are the single most potassium-dense food a senior can add to their diet, and most people over 60 have never thought to put them on their plate. 1 cup of cooked white beans delivers more potassium than 3 bananas. They also contain resistant starch, which slows sugar absorption into the blood. So if you are managing blood glucose alongside swelling, white beans are doing 2 jobs at once. How to use them? Add half a cup to soups, stews, or blend them into a simple dip. Even tinned, drained, and rinsed, they deliver the full potassium benefit. Food 2, baked potato with skin. Not chips, not mash with butter. A plain baked potato with the skin on is one of the most potassium-dense foods on the planet. The skin is where most of the potassium lives. Eating it without the skin cuts the benefit almost in half. Bake at 200 degrees Celsius for 45 minutes. Top with a small amount of olive oil and herbs. And avoid heavy salting. Sodium directly counteracts the fluid draining effect you are working toward. Food 3. Avocado. You have probably heard about avocado for healthy fats, but for seniors dealing with swelling, avocado has another job entirely. It is one of the highest potassium fruits available, and unlike bananas, it carries almost no sugar. Avocado also provides magnesium and vitamin B6, both of which support kidney function and natural fluid regulation. Half an avocado on whole grain toast in the morning is enough to begin making a measurable difference within a few weeks. Food 4. Cooked spinach. Raw spinach has a reputation as a superfood, but for fluid retention, cooked spinach is where the real power is. Cooking concentrates the potassium and makes it far more bioavailable, meaning your body actually absorbs it. 1 cup of cooked spinach contains nearly 3 times the potassium of the same amount of raw. Cooked spinach also provides nitrates, which relax blood vessel walls and improve circulation, exactly what you want when you are trying to move stagnant fluid. Wilt it in a pan with a drizzle of olive oil and garlic for 3 minutes. That is all it takes. Food 5. Edamame, young soya beans. This is the one you have been waiting for. A 2021 clinical trial published in the journal Nutrients followed 186 adults aged 65 and older experiencing chronic daily swelling in the legs. The group, given an isoflavone-rich soy-based dietary intervention, of which edamame is the most natural whole food source, saw a 31.4% reduction in lower limb fluid volume over 12 weeks. 31.4% from a food you can buy frozen in any supermarket. Edamame is also a complete protein, one of the very few plant foods that delivers all 9 essential amino acids. For seniors concerned about muscle loss alongside swelling, edamame is doing double duty. Buy frozen shell-on edamame, steam or microwave for 5 minutes. Aim for 1 cup 3 times per week. Food 6. Sweet potato. Sweet potato is one of the gentlest and most tolerated foods for seniors across virtually every dietary condition, and it is one of the richest natural sources of potassium available. Unlike regular potatoes, sweet potato also contains beta-carotene and vitamin C, both of which reduce systemic inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation is now understood to be one of the hidden drivers of persistent daily swelling in older adults. Bake it whole for 45 minutes or cube and roast. The skin is edible and adds additional fiber. Food 7. Plain full-fat yogurt. Yogurt is on this list not just for potassium, but for what it does alongside potassium. A 2020 analysis in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adequate calcium intake helps the kidneys excrete sodium more efficiently. Less sodium held in the body means less fluid retained in the tissue. For seniors watching blood pressure, this combination of potassium and calcium is essentially a natural 2-pathway approach to reducing both fluid retention and pressure simultaneously. 1 cup of plain full-fat yogurt daily at breakfast or as a snack. Avoid flavored or low-fat versions. They typically contain added sugar and less potassium per serving. Food 8. Cooked lentils. Here is why we saved lentils for last. Almost nobody thinks of lentils when they think about swelling, but lentils are the only food on this entire list that addresses fluid retention through 3 separate mechanisms simultaneously. First, high potassium, directly opposing sodium retention in the body. Second, high soluble fiber, which reduces arterial pressure and improves the heart's ability to push fluid back out of the legs. And third, plant protein, which supports albumin production in the liver. Albumin is the protein your blood needs to pull fluid back from tissue into circulation. Low albumin is one of the most common and most overlooked drivers of persistent swelling in seniors over 65. A 2022 analysis in the journal Nutrients reviewed 47 dietary studies on persistent swelling in older adults. Legumes, beans, and lentils combined were the only food category associated with statistically significant reduction in fluid volume across all three physiological pathways simultaneously. All three pathways, one food. Red lentils dissolve into a smooth texture when cooked, ideal for soups and stews. Green lentils hold their shape, excellent in salads. Tin lentils drained and rinsed work just as well as dried. Aim for half a cup, cooked 4 to 5 times per week. Here is your simple 3-step plan to start this week. Step 1 this week, pick 3 foods from this list that you do not currently eat regularly. Just 3. Add 1 to your breakfast, 1 to your lunch, and 1 to dinner. Do not overhaul everything at once. Start with 3. Step 2, track it. At the end of each day, do the dent test again. Press your finger into the top of your foot for 5 seconds and release. Note what you see. Within 10 to 14 days of consistent eating, you should begin to notice a measurable difference in how quickly the skin bounces back. Step 3, bring this to your next doctor's appointment. Ask specifically for your serum potassium level to be checked. A simple blood panel shows exactly where you stand. If it comes back low, you now know exactly what to eat. And if your potassium is in range but swelling persists, ask your doctor to check your albumin level. That is the second piece of this puzzle. You are not powerless here, you just needed the right information. For most seniors, chronic fluid retention is not a life sentence. It is a signal, and signals can be answered. The 8 foods on this list are not obscure or expensive. Most of them are sitting on a shelf in your nearest supermarket right now. When you add even 3 or 4 of them consistently to your weekly diet, you will feel the difference, not in months, in weeks. Your body has not given up on you. It is waiting for the right fuel. If this video gave you something you genuinely needed today, subscribe to Thrive at any age right now and turn on the notification bell. Every week, we publish new research-backed content designed specifically for adults over 60 in plain English, focused on what actually affects your daily quality of life. Leave a comment below and tell us, which food from this list are you going to try first? We read every single comment on this channel. And share this with someone you love who is dealing with swollen legs or ankles. It takes 10 seconds, and it might save them years of unnecessary discomfort. Take care of yourself, because you deserve to thrive at any age.